What's up, everybody? This is Cadmus right back at you with episode number 3 of my F1 2010 Let's Play thingamajiggy. We're going to China this time, Shanghai. Race 4 in the season, episode 3 of my series, because I forgot, well, didn't think about doing this yet when I did Bahrain. So still everything on expert, going out of the Lotus practice. I'm not going to show you the practice laps anymore, it just takes time, and well, you'll see the qualifying laps in 11 to 12 race laps on 20%. So I ended 11th in practice on primes, so I'm pretty pleased with that. You know, just I trained a lot on this track because I didn't really know it well, and I didn't want to mess up the pit entry like I did. And this is the qualifying lap. I actually forgot to start frapsing when I started it, so you missed the first corner. But we'll cover that in the race. Here, let me walk you through it. You're flat out. A hard braking zone here, get the second or first gear. It's a very tight exit on this corner. You gotta ease on the throttle. Throttle control is very important in this track. Now this one you're very tempted to take it flat out, but yeah, maybe you can do it, but you need to really nail that turning point. This you take in third or fourth if you again nail the turning point. This one goes to third. Here the wheel spin is pretty bad, so you need to really gradual throttle input. Flat out again, of course, on exiting. Here you brake at around the 100 meter mark and need to hit that apex a bit more than I do here. Here again, throttle control, gently building it up, and right about here you start flat out again to get max speed throughout this long ass back straight here in China. And important, this is a very difficult braking zone to judge. I went wide like 50 times before I nailed it. And I still didn't nail it. It's difficult to explain. Now I do it on sight when I see the 100 meter mark at a certain point. I know I need to brake, but I don't know. There must be a 150 meter mark, but I just don't see it well. So I do it on sight pretty much. It must be around 140 meters that you brake. So there it is. 138.097. I was a bit gutted I didn't get into the 137s, but a decent enough time. Gives me P12 here in the Lotus. Between the Force India sandwiches, looks like. Yep, Sutil and Liuzzi, Vettel's on pole. So respecting the current season, Vettel the pole man. So let's head straight into the start here of the Grand Prix. You see Sutil next to me. Oh man, I love how these effects, man. This is awesome. So I get off to a pretty decent start, but it's always when I get the third gear that AI start catching me up. But still was a good enough start. Didn't lose a position here. And as I said, trying to race clean, so, you know, not bumping into anybody too much here. You know, a little nudge, you know, nobody saw anything. And it gains me like 3 spots just going through the outside there. So I'm pretty psyched about that first corner from P12 to P9, so that ain't too bad. And here I'm gonna put the moves on Massa and Schumacher, who are too busy looking at each other, and I passed them both in the same corner. So all of a sudden, from P12, I'm into what is it? I'm not in P9 here. Moved up already. Yeah, P7. See, that HUD on the left-hand side just doesn't update fast enough. So here I'm behind Weber, who, strangely enough, is only in 6th position. He's been pretty much dominating the first couple races in my career. Here I see Rosberg spinning, pushes me wide a bit, and almost lose it. But of course, the old brake, and you recover the spin. Here another move taking one car at least on the outside and trying to get Weber, squeeze him out a little bit, but still leave him room. You see on the left, I left him some room, but he didn't have the balls to go for it. So I passed Weber, and pretty nice start here. P13 to P5 in the first lap. The first one's already a bit spread out. See on the mini-map on the left, Hamilton and Vettel right ahead. And man, this chicane is touchy. I mean, you don't want to run wide here because you lose 1 or 2 seconds if you do. You don't want to spin either, like underbrake yourself. So really, you got to pay attention. And this is a really treacherous little corner. You need to really carry your speed through, and it's not as slow as you would think it is. It seems very tight, but it's not that slow. It's really just a kink. So it's nice. And here, you got to pay attention. They're slow through the first part of this corner, the AI. And then they pick it up again, so you almost bump into them. I almost got a penalty here. But luckily I'd already seen him do that in practice, so I knew AI was a bit weird in that lap. And then here I'm chasing Hamilton. You know, I'm pretty pleased with myself. I don't know what happened to Weber, but Rosberg is now in 6th. Here I take a look at Hamilton on the inside. No, I can't make it, so just putting him under pressure. You know, you could have pushed him out, but you know, you gotta race clean here, man. You gotta race clean in this game. It's a real race, you know, treat it like a real race. So yeah, I don't know what happened to Weber, but Rosberg is behind me, and there's quite a gap, so maybe Weber spun out or something. So I'm trying to put the pressure on Hamilton, but I'm putting the pressure on myself, going wide here again at that corner, which is a bit of a shame. Loses me a lot of time, but no, I'm still quite happy with my performance at this point. You know, 5th position. And as you notice, I slapped on the options this time. I figured my strategy in the last 2 races of going for the primes first. It's just not worth it. Not in these short race distances, 20%. You can't create enough gaps in the pit stops. So you know, for this from now on, I'm just gonna do first stint on the options and then the primes. There was like a 29% chance of rain forecasted for this race, so here I'm thinking, it might rain, you know, might rain, but you know, I'm gonna stick it out as long as I can. The sky is overcast, but no raindrops yet, so you know, just gonna treat everything business as usual. I'm kind of hoping for rain because AI sucks balls in rain. You know, if it rains, it's pretty much a free win. So here, this corner is very difficult. So you go flat out. Well, I'll explain it in the next turn we come around here. This took me a while to get it down while I was learning the track, and especially, you know, really traction issues. Got to find the right setup and ride height because it's quite a bumpy surface in China. You know, spring stiffness and ride height does help you in this. So I did quite some tweaks. So now I'm behind Button, managed to pass Hamilton there, which I completely didn't even say, but it was pretty nice. So I'm now chasing Button. Next lap is my scheduled pit stop. Tires are still okay-ish, you know, yellow, it's pretty normal, and the grip level is good. I feel still pretty confident in the car. Don't seem to be catching Button anymore though, but look at my times. I mean, they're really going down. First lap I have in clear air. And definitely can tell on the lap times here. You know, go wide just a little bit. And when you do that, you need to be like super careful because if you get on the throttle there too heavily, you'll spin out. You know, when you have a wheel on the next to the track. So really need to pay attention. I knew my exit speed was compromised to that, so that's why I'm looking behind at the handy. You think he's not gonna get me. So braking was very crucial. I was afraid he might catch me, but you know, keep in mind and quite nicely. Nailed the braking point there, so pretty happy with that. And here I overshoot that kink. As I said, it's treacherous. Doesn't look very difficult, and it's flowing and easy, but still lose you some time if you go around. But bam, a full second down off of the best time I had set in this race. So, you know, pretty pleased with that. The option's definitely not falling away. Of course, it helps because I'm in the clear air now. I have Button ahead of me, but not ahead in the sense that he, you know, slows me down in the corners where they are stupidly slow, as it seems every track at least has one. And, you know, they're brake very early for this one, for instance, on this track. And then there's that chicane at the end as well, where it's very easy to pass them. As you've seen, I mean, double passes like nothing. It ain't because of my super duper skill, it's just because the AI are super duper slow. Hamilton's keeping up though. Again, that silly catch-up mechanism, I'm quite sure. Although in a way, you know, I can't catch up the Button, but he's not really running away either. So, you know, Hamilton's following behind me. But it looks like he's going to make a mistake here, or made one, because all of a sudden he drops back quite a lot. So he must have gone off the line or something. But I'm pleased with that, of course, because my pit stop's coming up, and I want as big as a gap as possible to the ones behind me. Especially that long train you saw taking the curve there. Because if you get caught out in the pits and the lollipop guy isn't having his day, he won't let you out, man. You'll be waiting there for 15 seconds and see everyone just sail past. Very frustrating. They did improve that in the patch. Gotta give them that to Codemasters. I haven't really had a lot of pit stop problems except when I mess up. So here you see I checked out the pit entry in training, so I think it's pretty good. I'm always afraid, though. I don't know exactly where the line is most of the time. So here I put the limiter, I think, a bit too early. But so there's a Button who's already done his pit stop, which was blindingly fast. I mean, let's be honest, he wasn't that far ahead of me. So there's the Lotus pits. I didn't mistake it either. So finally, in episode 3 of this game, the first successful pit stop. Woohoo! 4.43 seconds. That's not too shabby either. And here it's difficult always to get back on the track with cold-ish tires, But luckily not in traffic or anything either, so I'm pretty psyched here. I'm thinking I got some good opportunities here. Just need to keep Schumacher behind me for that first corner. He's on my ass. Let's take a little sneak peek. Yeah, he's behind me, but as long as I survived that first corner, I knew there's that slow AI corner coming up, so I knew I could keep him behind me. So I'm happy about that. And got to hunt Degrassi, who obviously is on the prime, so hasn't pitted yet. And here I feel, you know, just the primes don't give as much grip as the options logically. So you saw me put up the wing here a little bit just for these first few laps on the options. Yeah, that's why I use the wing mostly, just to balance the changing fuel levels. And you know, when it's down to feeling really. Like here, I didn't feel too comfortable in corners. I pop up the wing a bit, and all of a sudden I felt a lot more comfortable already. So that pit stop, you see, took me 18 seconds, which was decent, you know. If you saw the last episodes and see how epic failure my other pit stops were, I mean, I was really psyched on this. Like, okay, P16, that's fine, because a lot of people still need to pit. I'm doing good lap times, haven't really made any mistakes yet, so pretty happy with the performance at this point. You know, hanging out behind Degrassi, of course, shouldn't let him keep me up too long. But again, you know, racing AI's race pace is mostly based on where they are positioned in the field, not on who they are, on what car they're driving. Because Degrassi's, you know, getting it much faster than he probably would. So here you see me passing a bunch of people already pitting. So that's the people on primes taking the early stop for the prime people. And here, around the outside of Degrassi, still leaving him room, as you see, leaving him room. And oh yeah, here's something cool's gonna happen. No, not yet. Just passing Degrassi. There we go. It was cool enough. So around the outside on turn 1, and I still haven't explained how I take turn 1, but you know, you've seen it by now. So here again, you can take it in second or first. It really all depends on how fast you come along, which line you're taking. You really got to develop a feel for it a bit. So here, sometimes I gear up to 6, sometimes I stay in 5th. Mostly stay in 5th because just keeps your revs up higher. Here the same thing, you stay in 4th or drop down to 3rd as you are hitting the apex. Or contrary, not hitting the apex as I do here, and almost lost it. You could see the wheel spin there. Some quick counter steering solved that. No punching on the brakes that time. You can counter steer in the game, but as my race engineer is talking to me about Truly, I get kind of a loose focus. And because what do I care? Truly's 3 positions ahead of me. I know he's gonna have to pit, so shut up, man. Shut up, Rob. You useless piece of crap. Really, the race engineer is such a useless cocky bastard. So yeah, I went wide a little bit, but you know, managed to limit the damage from that. You know, lost half a second or something. It's a corner the AI are really slow through, so I was pretty much on their pace through that corner. So it wasn't too shabby. And I'm actually catching up here to Button, who's behind. Who is that? Is that Glock? That's one of the HRTs. It looks like maybe Senna. You know, that's what you get with these short race distances. The gap is. You know, you only have like 4 or 5 maximum laps on the primes. Oh, it's Chandok. And again, trying my move around the outside on Button and Chandok. So a double move here. Trying. It's going to be tight. Still leaving him room. Not squeezing him out. Look, he still has the room. But he goes wide. And this is really cool. Check it out. Oh, just as I look in the rear view, I see Chandok going wide, spinning off and hitting Button, which it wasn't my fault. I mean, look back at it. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch Chandok. He just went wide, you know, under pressure, and then spun out and hit Button. But apparently Button doesn't have too much damage because he's still in P6, and he's doing pretty well in the championship. So he's got, I think he's in 2nd position behind Weber. So he's got stuff to gain here. Obviously, Truly, my teammate ahead of me, is gonna go pit. Probably this lap 7. That's the scheduled lap to stop if you start on primes. So, I know, pretty good, hey? I'm looking good here for a podium. I knew Button was running in 3rd. Caught him up after the pit stop, passed him. I have a good gap to Button. I have a you know, big gap to the front runners. Sadly, Alonso and I think it's Vettel number 2, which you can't see, obviously. And yeah, again telling me Yarno's directly ahead of me. It's useless information. I know, and he's gonna have to pit too. You know, maybe tell me who I'm racing when I'm pitting, not, you know, who's around me, but who I'm actually racing. So yeah, there you have another guy. Oh yeah, it's Buemi, I think, was still, yep, Buemi in the pits as well, together with Jarno. So that moves me up to P3 if the HUD wants to update at some point. Maybe now. Oh yeah, again. Oh, okay, I promise I'll to walk you through that first corner when I remember to actually talk about it. Here you have Vettel and Alonso ahead of me. I think Vettel's about 10 seconds ahead. I have 3 laps to go, so I'm gonna try and push it. Gonna see how the lap times respond, if Vettel responds to my fast lap times. Not that fast, you know, I am on the primes now. So yeah, Vettel's 11 seconds, Alonso 14 seconds almost ahead of me. So here I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna push, but I'm not gonna exaggerate because I am on a podium position. I've button, you know, comfortable gap to Button, but one mistake and he's past me and I lose that podium position. So figure I'm gonna mildly push here, if you can say that. Still, you know, doing good lap times here. Of course, the fuel is going down a lot near the end of the race. You're running on almost qualifying level fuel levels. You know, there's only 3 laps left in this good old trunker car. Still no fast engine mapping, so don't really need to worry about running out of fuel or anything. And here, you know, I figured, yeah, let's push it a bit more and turn the wing down again, get some max top speed here. And here I almost lose it. You know, I kind of do lose it. I go wide, miss my braking point a little bit, and prefer to run wide rather than to spin off by braking too hard. But it's okay, I recover quite fast, because that's something you see happening often. When people make a mistake, minor mistake, doesn't cost them that much, but then the corner after, they make an even bigger one because they still have that last mistake in their mind. And again, forgot to walk you through how I take the corner. Not too great. So yeah, I see them, I don't see them on the mini map, so I'm 9th lap out of 11. So there I see them on the mini map, so they're quite a distance ahead of me here, Vettel and Alonso. They don't seem to be slowing down a lot. They're actually gaining time on me. Almost 12 seconds and 15 for Alonso. Not a big battle going on at the front either. Looks like Alonso is gonna take away the win. Mr. Eyebrows for the win. And you know, I'm actually just, you know, figuring, hey, I'm not gonna take too many risks here. I'm just gonna make sure I got this podium position. Keep up a good pace so I don't get under pressure from Button near the last lap. But just, you know, keep a good pace, keep gunning it. My lap times are going to come down almost naturally because, you know, the more I go through, the less fuel there be in my little car. So, you know, pretty pleased. And, you know, podium position. It's going to be my second podium after Bahrain Grand Prix, which I didn't show you, but I came in second there. Of course, you know, since everything's on expert, I really don't like achievements and really don't give a damn about it, but it's one achievement that's a bit elusive, and that's winning the championship on expert mode. So, you know, it's one of the goals here in doing this season. And now, yes, I thought about it. We're coming on to the home straight again, and I am gonna walk you through the first corner. So, of course, obviously, gunning it straight through here. And here you still flat out, it's only at the 30-meter mark or something, you drop down 2 gears to 4th here, and you keep feathering the throttle, you know, drop down the gears gradually, but don't lay off the gas completely, you know, drop down to 4th, give it a pinch of gas, drop down to 3rd, give it a pinch of gas, drop down to 2nd, give it a pinch of gas, and then ease it through that apex, and then give it another burst of throttle as you hit that, as you approach that left-hander, and then you feather it all through yet again. So, pretty tricky corner. It's really all just practice, because the first runs through there were pretty damn horrible, and then afterwards I just, you know, kept getting in the groove and got the gearing right. And that's why manual gearing is so important if you want to be good at this game. Automatic gearing, you'll never be able to take the corner that way. You can't use the gears to help you, you know, to determine your apex speed. So very important. If you haven't doing it yet, go for manual gears. It's really the most important assist you need to turn off, in my opinion. Just I couldn't drive with automatic gears anymore, just because I learned the tracks depending on, you know, what gear I take them in, and slowing down just when you're passing people. It's very, very crucial. And of course, you should drive without any assist. Just bite the bullet. It's going to be a bitch the first couple races, but then it's going to be, you know, going to feel much more satisfaction when you do it without any assist. I know you pad users have a harder time, but in the online league I'm in, there's one dude with a pad, and he's consistently in the top 3. So it's definitely doable. You need the analog sticks, of course. But if you have a pad with analog sticks and you train with it, I mean, it's definitely doable. That dude is blindingly fast. I had a huge battle with him in Yas Marina last weekend, and really, it's doable. So it's not an excuse that you have a pad or can't do manual or anything. Because our league races are no assists as well, so it's doable. Very last lap, nice gap to Button, big gap to Vettel. You know, keeping the gap pretty stable. 12 seconds still to Vettel. I know I'm not going to catch him unless he makes like a big ass error. And you see the track is fully rubbered in, and I applied a fix, not the Codemaster fix, but someone uploaded it on the F1 2010 official forums. It hurts your FPS just a little bit, but not as much as the Codemaster's fix. And finally, you get your drying line back, and you know, the rubbered in track, because you know everything. Oh, the PC patch was such a horror story. Just broke so many things. But with this fix, I think it was CreatorX, so props to that guy for that fix. Works well, and as you can see, I can still fraps at steady 30 FPS. So definitely good enough for me in my book then, if it works like that. But again, you know, I had to be a user-made fix. You gotta go into your XML files and everything, you know. CM, wake up, man, help your users out. You gotta do that. It's your responsibility to make the product work. So last corner here. And pretty happy here, looking at that, a home straight, and that's going to be a podium position for Lotus, Team Lotus. Look at him all excited. Whee, look at him, yeah, pumping fist, yeah, fist pump. 139.431, and
just awesome. We're never expected to be on the podium at this stage of the season, mate. 3rd place, well done.
And finally, the race engineer says something in context. He's actually ecstatic that the Lotus is in 3rd position. He somehow hints that he expects us to be longer. Later in the season, we would be there. So truly finished pretty good too, P13 or something. Alonso wins. So even though Vettel passes me, I'm still in the running here, 5th position and 4th position in the constructors. So happy with that. And of course, I haven't showed you guys this yet. Here's the new upgrade. I'm hoping I got it because I did that R&D lap, but I didn't get that upgrade. It said it upgraded my brakes, so I didn't get the new throttle map setting. So I don't know what's up with that. You know, the race engineer did say something. We've fitted new brakes. You should feel them much better or something like that. But here it says I got the throttle map upgrade. So I don't know. Here's the reputation going up to 7. A good tip if you wanted to go up faster, do longer race distances. I heard it helps. So just a tip for you guys if you're saying, oh, reputation not going. So the harder the settings they are, the faster they go, and the longer the races they are, the faster your reputation goes up. So it's not going to go up that fast because I'm only at 20%. And Holly's going to ask me some questions.
Today and 15 points towards your championship challenge. If this continues, you'll be a serious contender for the title. A 3rd place finish today has certainly boosted the team's chances of taking the Constructors' title this year. They must be pleased with your performance this weekend. A fantastic 3rd place finish for you today, one which will surely draw attention to you from the stronger teams. Are you expecting much interest from them for next season?
So that's the interview. You get that if you do a good position. Next race, Catalonia. So see you guys there. Peace out.